Halftime from Raymond James Stadium as the New Orleans Saints lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the score of 10-3. We welcome you into the Bayou Blitz halftime show on the Saints News Network. I'm Brendan Boylan, joined by Bob Rose. Bob, you made the gesture during the pregame show that you wanted people to smile a little bit going into the halftime, and I'd say Saints fans will certainly be doing that. Demario Davis coming up big to give the Saints possession there late in the first half that led to points. And hey, we mentioned it on the pregame. The Saints have not forced a lot of takeaways this year. That was only their 8th of the year. That is dead last in the NFL. But what a great job by Demario Davis in his coverage to confuse a very seasoned veteran, as you like to put it, very seasoned veteran in Tom Brady, and come up with the interception. Bob, what have you liked from the New Orleans Saints in the first half, starting with the defense?
Pretty much everything that the defense has done. We outlined the book on beating Brady was to be able to get pressure against him without having to blitz. The Saints have done that. They've not sacked him yet, but they've rushed or hurried several throws. They've made him look extremely uncomfortable. Brady really should have had 2 picks because a pressure by Shai Tuttle early in the second quarter, deflected off Shai's arm and almost into the hands of Caden Ellis, who is playing a very good ball game too. I think Alontae Taylor is playing a spectacular night. I think he got called for a penalty, which was. You expect that to be called when you're playing a Tom Brady team. I'll leave that as my drop the mic moment. Paulson Adebo is scaring me a little bit on some coverages, and Bradley Roby. I counted 3 different plays where a runner or a receiver after the catch got extra yardage because Roby is trying to strip the ball rather than make the tackle. Guys, keep it simple, live to fight another play. Just make the play that you can, make the play in front of you. That's my only minor complaint about the New Orleans defense. I'd like to see him tighten up against the run a little bit. Fournette had some plays that he shouldn't have made, for extra yardage or what have you. But other than that, keep pressuring Tom Brady. Give him a couple different coverage looks in the second half because you know that he is going to make halftime adjustments. But you have to love the way the Saints defense is playing right now.
Absolutely. No sacks for the Saints defense, but 2 tackles for loss, 1 from Alontae Taylor, 1 from Carl Granderson, 3 passes deflected, 2 quarterback hits. Before we talk about the offense, Bob, let's throw some stats on the screen. Andy Dalton, 8 of 13 for 142 yards and a touchdown in the first half. You could argue his best first half since coming in as the Saints starting quarterback. This is one that's a little bit concerning. Alvin Kamara, only 18 scrimmage yards. Still have not been able to get Kamara going. Bob, you're right more times than not. Yes, I said that on the air. I expect my compensation for that. But Shaheed, who you called an X Factor, has 3 catches for 71 yards. And, of course, the big 40-yard grab early in the ball game. And then I was wrong. I said that Taysom Hill should be a fantasy guy that you don't even look to start because of the lack of touches. Well, he got like 1 touch and boom, 30-yard receiving touchdown. Taysom Hill continuing to do Taysom Hill-like things. I did say he was going to be an X Factor, though. I said he was going to come up big. I just said don't start him in fantasy. I didn't think he'd find the end zone. But, it's okay, Bob. Roles can reverse once in a while. You can be right, I can be wrong. Or, we're both used to being wrong. So I'm happy for you, buddy. We'll go 1 for 2. 1 for 2 isn't bad. But nonetheless, the New Orleans Saints lead at halftime. What's up, John and Scoob and Jace? Thanks for joining us on the Bayou Blitz halftime show. Bob, what have you liked about the offense? Outside of a couple drops in the red zone, the Saints offense hasn't been spectacular, but they've done enough to have a lead going into the half, and they've done enough to keep the Tampa Bay defense honest, yeah?
Yeah, they have. I like the aggressiveness of their passing attack. They're really looking to attack downfield. Olave is maddening, just infuriatingly frustrating right now. He had 1 blatant drop that would have been an easy field goal, at the very minimum, and had another a ball that he should have brought in to keep a drive alive in the first quarter. You want to see Kamara get more involved in the passing game. They've only run him on 3 routes that I have counted and 1 target. So, you need those two to be back involved. Rashid Shaheed, Adam Troutman, they both made very, very nice plays. Landry has made a couple, one catch, and then the other that you alluded to, the one that he really should have brought in, down near the goal line. So, they're at least trying to move the ball around when they throw it. They're not completely abandoning the running game, which is keeping the Tampa Bay defense honest. You have to keep up with that. Maybe you'll break a couple of plays, with Taysom or Ingram inside, or maybe Kamara off tackle. The thing I like best about what the Saints have done so far is that they're attacking the Tampa Bay secondary, deep down the field and along the corners. I think that could soften up the middle of the Buccaneers defense in the second half.
Let's go ahead and look at some other stats for you. Mark Ingram, 2 carries for 9 yards. Taysom Hill, the lone carry for a single yard. Receiving, we threw Shaheed's numbers up there, but after that, you have 6 different Saints with receptions. Taysom Hill, Adam Troutman, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, and Alvin Kamara all with 1. We mentioned Taysom Hill's 30-yard touchdown grab. Adam Troutman with a big 20-yard grab. Olave's been a little bit quiet. On the other side for Tampa Bay, and talking about their offense, a lot of the attention towards Tom Brady, but this has been a team that has not ran the ball particularly well this year. Tampa Bay dead last in rushing from an offensive standpoint, and you look at where Tom Brady's successes came over his NFL career, and it's been a strong running game or a decent running game and a pretty strong defense. He has the strong defense that he's used to with his Tampa Bay Buccaneers group, but the running game just not there. Are you seeing anything that Tampa Bay has exploited with the New Orleans Saints, who have struggled against the run this year, or is it just par for the course? I mean, Brady's thrown 23 passes in the first half.
Yeah, he has, but Tampa Bay's also gotten a couple decent running plays from Fournette. Not so much from the rookie White, but Tampa Bay's not going to abandon this either, at least not yet. The Saints have to give them a reason to abandon the running game. It is trending that direction. New Orleans has to keep stout in that area. The Buccaneers are going to continue to try to beat New Orleans with Brady and those receivers. And to be fair, they have just missed on a couple of big passing plays. So they're not far off right now. New Orleans is playing extremely well defensively. But Tampa is not going to abandon their game plan at this point.
What do the New Orleans Saints have to do to keep the lead and come away victorious in Tampa Bay to keep their playoff hopes alive?
Boy, I'll tell you, you'd love to see New Orleans get some points out of this first drive of the second half. I said earlier, you need to get Kamara involved as a receiver now. If you have a little bit of success in that, that's going to soften up the Buccaneers front for your running game. Keep feeding Olave. The kid is bound to make some plays. And other than that, and I hate Dennis Allen has made me hate this saying, but keep doing what you're doing. Tampa Bay had the first drive of the game, held it for, a 72-yard march. It only ended in a field goal. If the Saints can flip that script and get that kind of drive, a touchdown would be great to make you feel really good. But even a field goal to put you up 2 scores with the way this defense is playing and with the way you're aggressively attacking the Buccaneers with your passing game, that'd make you feel really good to come out in the second half.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have for the Bayou Blitz halftime show. Bob, where can everybody follow you real quick?
Folks, find us. Thank you for joining us at halftime. Make sure you join Brendan and I this Wednesday night for our Bayou Blitz podcast. In the meantime, you can follow me on Facebook, Bob Rose. I'm over on Twitter at BobbyR2613. And all of our works, as always, can be found through the Saints News Network or at Saints News on Twitter.
For myself, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BT Boylan. Follow all of our work with the Saints News Network for SI.com. And Bob and I really look forward to having you guys on a special bye-week edition of the Bayou Blitz podcast on Wednesday. Until then, find your peace, spread love, practice positivity. That's Bob Rose. I'm Brendan Boylan. We'll see you on Wednesday.